Frugal living is a miserable existence, right?
My family and I are so cheap that we all share one tub of water a day.
You cut corners, you scrimp and you save, and for what? Just to make do, just to be uncomfortable while price rises and the cost of living go up and up and up. You tighten your purse strings so you can save for your retirement where you'll have just enough money to see out your days. It seems that frugal living is living miserably so that you can retire and keep on living miserably.
It's not that I can't buy a roll of toilet paper. I don't need to, we don't need it.
Well, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. Frugality is not a race to the bottom.
I think my parents are a little obsessed with being cheapskates.
Frugality is not a miserable existence. Frugality is a facilitator for the life you want to have. Frugal living is just one facet of an early retirement plan that many have, and in this video we are getting into 14 frugal living tips that will not make you miserable to help you get as much value out of day-to-day living as you can while still enjoying yourself and having a good time. You can't frugal your way to wealth. At a certain point you can't save any more money, and in that respect frugal living isn't scalable. It's not like going the other way and making more money, which absolutely can be scaled massively, but that doesn't mean we can't try to be more mindful with our money, to build savings and redirect that money to something more useful to you, whatever that may be. So here we go, let's just get right into it. The best way to save money is just not to spend it at all, obviously. So let's crack that spend for the sake of spending habit first with one simple idea, and that is to start thinking of your purchases as days of your life. It sounds a wee bit mad, but let's take the average UK hourly rate of pay, which is around the £15 an hour mark. So this means daily take-home pay after tax and all that sort of stuff is around about £90. You want that new Samsung phone that has just come out at the £1,250 mark. So simply divide this £1,250 by your daily rate and it's going to cost the average UK earner nearly 14 days of their life to have this phone. You have to work nearly 14 days just to get this piece of tech, which is instantly going to start depreciating and will be replaced next year with a new model. So look, there's no judgment here. You might think it's worth it, you might not, but when you start thinking about purchases in terms of days of your life, then your mindset is going to change. Number two, we all need food. That's non-negotiable. We are all spending money on it, so we might as well spend it right. The staples like milk, rice, pasta, flour, sugar, all that sort of stuff, you would do well to consider sticking to the store's own brand in the name of not wasting money. Rice and pasta seem obvious ones. I can't see how there could be a particularly big variation on these foods just because the packaging looks different on a well-known brand. I've never been able to taste the difference between brands of salt either. As far as something like milk goes, I have never seen a premium label cow producing supercharged milk. It's squeezed from the same udder, so just go for the best value. Baby milk is another. Close examination of the ingredients of the basic stuff versus the fancy branded stuff will show you that the same essential ingredients are in both, so you can just go with the cheapest, generally speaking. Baby milk is highly regulated here in the UK, so there isn't much scope for difference between brands. Painkillers and off-the-shelf medicines too, at the risk of labouring this point, they have the same active ingredients, again a highly regulated sector. The fancy branding is just fancy branding. The tablet is essentially the same and your headache won't care much for a slick advertising campaign. The reason so much money is spent by big companies on their branding across all kinds of consumables is because largely their products are the same as their competitors and they just want to stand out. Check the ingredients, that's all that matters. Try buying your stuff one level down in the perceived quality scale. If you're a fan of the big brands, go for the store's own label. If you like the store's premium version, then go for the standard. I mean, this could be bleach, fruit and veg, drinks, whatever. If you don't notice a difference in quality, then why are you paying more? If you don't like where you've landed, well, at least now you know you were better off with your first choice and that you were getting the right value for yourself, even though it may be a little bit more expensive. Frugal living is not cheap living. It's about getting value where you find it. Never shop hungry. Body chemistry is wild. When we are hungry, we don't think straight. We don't make good choices. We seek instant satisfaction for our hunger pangs. And when we are looking at all those expensive, processed, quick fix foods, it's going to hit us right in the wallet. So make sure when you shop, you do it at a time when you're nice and full up from a healthy home-cooked meal. Which brings us nicely to meal planning. Shop with a plan. Never wing it. This will help keep you on the straight and narrow and avoid those products you don't even want. I'm looking at you, middle aisle and little. Buying foodstuffs that we don't really want probably means that we're going to have waste at the end of the week. Something good is going to be shunted out for something not so good, and there's nothing more wasteful than wasted food. It winds me right up. Batch cook it. When you are planning meals, plan to make lots of them. If you're making like a chicken pasta dish or something, then make enough for 6 meals. Wrap them up, throw them in the freezer. It means the next time you get caught out not preparing properly, and come on, we all have bad days, you can go to the freezer and there is a nice healthy meal waiting for you, instead of hitting the fast food outlets for the expensive, unhealthy, unsatisfying feed. As an extra tip, filling your freezer actually helps with its efficiency, so you will save on energy costs there as well. Number 7, drink more water. It sounds obvious, but fresh water is so much better for you than fizzy drinks laced with sugar and caffeine and things you can't pronounce. Staying well hydrated keeps up your focus. It's good for your skin, your immune system, everything wholesome and inexpensive. It's my kind of thing. Number 8 is credit cards. They so often get a bad reputation, but if you're using them right, then they are a fantastic tool. Everything I buy goes on a credit card, and I mean everything. All these purchases I'm making in my day-to-day life are earning me air miles that will soon take my family and I on a nice holiday. I don't buy anything I wouldn't normally, and I pay the bill in full at the end of the month. No interest paid. Just benefits that you don't get with cash or debit cards. And of course, here in the UK, you get extra consumer protections when you're paying with a credit card. So in this case, it really is something for nothing. That said, if you have a problem with spending or are likely to get into trouble with credit cards, then it's probably just best to stay away. Do free stuff instead of paid for activities. The world is a more open place than it was just a few months ago, and local councils have budgets to spend. Check your local listings, see what's happening in your area that's free of charge. Hopefully coming into a nice bit of better weather too. There's going to be kids' treasure hunts, festivals, car shows, play parks, whatever you're into. I'm sure you will find something a little bit different to be doing. Following on from that, take some free courses. Have you ever fancied learning photography, gardening, learning to code, learning to create a blog? Take free courses online. It's a great way to find free entertainment as well as learning new skills. Go one better and try learning in-demand skills like coding or Photoshop, for example. It's going to open doors for you to help you make a little bit more money if that's the route you want to go. I have subscriptions with Skillshare and Pluralsight, and both offer a free trial, so you can use the links below in the description to sign up, get yourself some free training. Skillshare has tens of thousands of courses for all levels, made by regular people, and it's well worth a look. I've been following courses on Adobe Photoshop and Premiere, and honestly, it's a great old time. Next up is my 3-week rule. If you find something you want to buy, wait 3 weeks. If you still want it, then consider a purchase. If you're anything like me, you might find the urge to buy dissipates and you keep your pockets heavy. So many of our buys are steeped with regret shortly after, and we find it's not really something we wanted in the first place. Once the 3 weeks pass, if you do find you want to buy, then make sure you use price comparison tools to lock yourself in the best price, and don't forget potential cashback on sites like Quidco as well. Gyms, they are a complete waste of money, particularly if you only go a few times a year. Running on the road is free and you can cover just as many miles. If it's weights you're into, there are some great bodyweight programs available free on the internet that are a substitute for weight training. Pick up heavy rocks or something in the garden, move them somewhere and repeat. Go down to your local tire centre and ask for old, worn out tires. Take them home, flip them in your garden. You do not have to pay fortunes to stay fit and strong. Open yourself up to more possibilities. There are savings to be made everywhere. Track your spending. Go through every expense you had in the last 3 months. Everything, I mean everything, leave no stone unturned. This will tell you where your money is going. Information is power, so decide where that money has been well spent and decide where it has been wasteful. This is all on you. Where you find value won't be the same as someone else, so you need to think about what is a benefit to you in your life. Create a budget accordingly, and don't forget to leave room for a treat if you can. Budget in some good times. Often we think of budgets as constraints, but they aren't. They're a tool to be used to help you prioritize spending, to make room for the things you enjoy, but cutting out the rubbish that doesn't actually give you anything good. Something a little bit more dramatic, make changes to the big ticket items in your life. All the money you save and turn into investments from not buying coffee in Starbucks or expensive designer clothes is great, but to make a real dent in how much money you have, then consider something as drastic as moving house. Saving on mortgage or rent rates can be life-changing, and it's these big changes that will supercharge your bank balance. Consider your transport too. With the price of fuel going fully nutty right now, could you get to places on a bike instead of a car? Could you use public transport? There are savings to be made in maintenance and insurance if you drive less also, so all these things are going to add up to great savings. Of course, frugal living is how we should all be doing it, spending money on what brings us joy and not wasting any of our resources. But if you want to become really wealthy, then you're going to need to up your income. To find out how I'm setting up multiple streams of income, you can watch this video right here.